Communities back around the lake, around Okeechobee, could see some really strong showers and storms work in. It's actually two weather makers here. We have the afternoon sea breeze that's coming in along the coastline. We also have this weather maker coming in off the Gulf of Mexico that'll sweep across South Florida during the evening and overnight hours. So there's a look at the radar. The current radar shows pretty active weather, but at the coast it's not bad until you get up around Vero and Sebastian. A couple of big cells, one right there moving from Port Mayaca toward Okeechobee. It's lost a little bit of its punch. In fact, no lightning strikes in the last few minutes, but some pretty good rain. There is a flood advisory in effect for western Martin County. We could see a couple inches of rain as that moves right along the eastern edge of the lake and weakens as it pushes toward Okeechobee. Also persistent rain from Vero up into Sebastian along 95 and also back along the Turnpike. And Palm Beach County, well, it's quiet. So we have a large area of real estate here with not much going on as far as active weather, but showers and some rain expected into the evening along coastal Palm Beach County. The strongest storms will be back around the lake. Nothing too significant here, but definitely some wet weather. You'll want to grab the umbrella. More on the way into tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Steve, thanks. That's an interesting shot from the green screen over there where Steve does weather, to breaking news for you right now. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office investigating a man who was shot in Mangonia Park. The Now's Jacqueline Powell is there now live. She's joining us with what we're learning about the shooting at the moment. Jacqueline?
Well, Shannon, you can see behind me here several deputy cars lining Australian Avenue here as investigators try to figure out exactly what happened in the Carlton's Chicken and Seafood parking lot here off of Australia and Giller Avenues. Now, the sheriff's office tells us a man was standing in the restaurant's parking lot when another man shot him. Detectives say they don't know who the shooter is at this time. The man that was shot was taken to St. Mary's, and we don't have any updates on his condition yet. And deputies also say they don't know what led to this shooting. We will continue to keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting live, Jacqueline Powell, the Now South Florida.
Glenn, thank you. Life in prison. That was the sentence for the former Rosarian Academy teacher Stephen Budd, convicted just this afternoon of molesting two fourth-grade students way back when. The Now's Brian Enton live outside the courthouse with the victim's reaction today, or at least one of them. Brian?
Shannon, these victims going through hell over the past couple of years, having to relive this child molestation, having to have their stories scrutinized, and having to testify in front of the man who sexually molested them when they were in the fourth grade. The hope is now that the victims and their families can finally have some peace. Peace knowing that Stephen Budd will remain locked up for the rest of his life, never getting out of prison. The jury convicting Budd of molesting the girls inside the Rosarian fourth grade classroom. Listen to what the victim so bravely told the judge just a little while ago after the verdict.
That innocent 9-year-old girl, I remember was immediately turned into a young girl, constantly afraid of the secret she would need to keep forever. Confused at the fact that I had a sexual relationship with my fourth grade teacher.
Releasing a statement today saying they hope the verdict helps bring closure to the victims and their families, and that their prayers and support remain with them. Those victims will head off to college in just a couple of weeks. Obviously, the healing for them will continue. But I can tell you, after sitting in this courtroom for the last week, you realize just how strong these young women are and what a bright future they have ahead of them. We'll have much more coming up at 5. For now, live outside the courthouse, I'm Brian Enton for the Now South Florida.
The legal chapter is now closed. Brian, thank you. A Riviera Beach man accused of attempted murder will remain behind bars. A judge denied bond for this guy, Daniel Bush, today. Police say he and another man tied a woman down and beat her in his Riviera Beach apartment yesterday. He's also accused of trying to sexually assault that woman. This is all over, allegedly, over a credit card number that he allegedly wanted to get from her. The woman was finally able to break free and get some help. The president of World Soccer stepping down. Did you hear this coming out today? The massive scandal, which broke last week, appears to have been too much to overcome, actually. Ann McNamara is joining us from the Now National Desk with more on that.
It was a surprising move. FIFA President Sepp Blatter deciding to step down in the next year. Just last week, as news of international investigations broke, Blatter dug in his heels, ran for re-election, and won. FIFA just held that election, so it can't hold another one for at least 4 months, although it could be as late as March of next year. All of this means that despite his resignation, Blatter will stay in power for what could be almost a year. Now, as for those investigations, U.S. and Swiss officials, they're looking into accusations of racketeering and fraud. 14 current and former FIFA executives are accused of taking bribes for marketing, media rights, and World Cup bids. Today, Blatter didn't say anything specific as to why he resigned, other than, quote, FIFA needs a profound restructuring. Back to you.
Interesting. And thanks. Today, the Delray Beach police chief says his officers are seeing a disturbing upward trend in the number of heroin cases in that city. Delray has had 24 overdoses reported this year, 4 of which have been fatal. In the month of May alone, 17 overdoses were reported, and just yesterday, officers responded to 2 heroin calls. Police say they need the public's help to find out where the drug is coming from. Meantime, doctors say there is an easy way for loved ones to save the lives of opioid drug users. The Now's Rachel Lado digging into this. She's here with the new steps happening actually right now to bring all this to Florida. Rachel, tell us about it.
Shannon, so caretakers such as a parent or other family member currently rely on doctors or EMTs to save loved ones experiencing an overdose from opioids like heroin. Now, Narcan is a drug that reverses the effects of heroin. Florida House Bill 751, known as Florida's Emergency Treatment and Recovery Act, is designed to expand who can store and administer Narcan. The proposed legislation is now on Governor Rick Scott's desk. If he signs off, it would allow parents, caretakers, and law enforcement to carry and administer Narcan. Now, the Delray Beach police chief says that he is seeing a disturbing upward trend in the number of heroin cases, as you mentioned, and if the bill is signed, he would consider having his officers carry the potentially life-saving drug.
I think it would be an organizational decision for every police department to decide. I know there'll be a lot of pros and cons with it, but if we can save someone's life and we have the ability to do it, I think we should.
Now, no word yet if or when Governor Scott will sign the bill. Currently, hundreds of police departments nationwide carry Narcan, including in San Diego, Atlanta, and New York. Shannon?
Rachel, thanks. Happening right now, Palm Beach County officials are meeting with members of the media to talk about what they say is a need to stop bringing in rescued animals from other states. It's the latest push to end euthanizations due to overpopulation countywide. County Commissioner Shelley Vanna holding a press conference at Animal Care and Control in West Palm Beach right now, in fact. Thousands of animals are being put down every single year because there's just not enough room to hold them in these cages. Right now, members of the Jensen Beach community fighting to save a beloved tree. Did you hear about this? This big debate slated to be cut down by the HOA. Well, neighbors living there in Holly Creek, right off Jensen Boulevard, have been out since yesterday protesting the removal and gathering more than 60 signatures for a petition. The HOA wants to tear it down, claiming it's causing a lot of damage to the area. Homeowners say, not so fast.
We would like to see some evidence that it is a legitimate cause to bring the tree down. We're not arguing about that. We just want to see evidence that this tree is causing a problem.
The HOA president telling us this is now a legal matter. Some students in Delray have a new set of wheels. It's a pretty great story here. The police department partnering with biking groups to fix up seized bicycles and then give them away. Today, the first bikes were passed out to this group of students at Toussaint Louverture High School. Some students at the predominantly Haitian charter school walk 2 miles every single day just to get to class. So the bikes will certainly help. Coming up here on The Now, at the beach, are you team one piece or are you team bikini? The most popular suit styles depending on where you live and the surprising results for Floridians. Plus, the Florida fish that's critically endangered. So the females are stepping in to stop their own extinction. This is a fascinating story. The drastic change they are making to save the species. Plus,
so we can have more resilient communities here in South Florida and the rest of the world's coastlines.
working hard to handle future storms. South Florida scientists right now simulating Cat 5 conditions and what they're hoping to learn from all of this. It is terrific video. We're going to share it with you coming up.
You really need to get this car painted.
The distress look is in.
Uh-oh, better get Maaco. For a limited time, Maaco's lowest price paint service is on sale for only $2.99. Maaco, America's Body Shop.
It's early morning, and you're up early because, well, the house is already stirring.
I have 4 kids. We're busy. I have to know when severe weather is coming.
WPTV Storm Team 5, only in one neighborhood that matters, yours.
Lisa and Glenn, they can be fun, but they really cracked out when big things are happening.
Preparing, alerting, showing the storm from every angle, making sure weather doesn't get in your way. Storm Team 5, the only morning weather team. Today on 5, WPTV News Channel 5.
Progressive Insurance here, and I'm a fox who thrives on the unexpected. Shall we die? You wouldn't expect an insurance company to show you their rates and their competitors' rates, but that's precisely what we do. Going up? Nope. Coming down. And if you switch to Progressive today, you could save an average of over $500. Stop it. So call me today at the number below. Or is it above? Dismount. Oh, and he sticks the landing.
America's Got Talent tonight on NBC. I Can Do That has become the summer's newest obsession. Tonight, can 6 celebrities learn to do amazing things in just 1 week?
I'm not comfortable with this.
I Can Do That, new tonight after America's Got Talent on NBC.
Enjoy your new shield.
Thanks. How much did you spend on this?
Nothing. It was free, and they put it in just a day.
Well, if it was free and they put it in that fast, how good could it be?
You tell me.
She's got a Sloman Shield, the ultimate home security system. It's free, and yes, it's real good.
Okay, the system's great, honey. Please disarm it.
Just steps away from the water, relax and enjoy the atmosphere and amazing food at Mulligan's Beach House Bar and Grill.
Try Mulligan's Asian Dragon Salad with firecracker shrimp, Bluesy's Black and Blue Burger, fish and chips, or steak gorgonzola flatbread.
Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A family meal at Mulligan's is fun and affordable. All day, every day. Mulligan's, 12 weeks of summer, where kids eat free Monday through Friday, 3 to 9 p.m.
You really need to get this car painted.
The distress look is in.
Uh-oh, better get Mako. For a limited time, Mako's lowest price paint services on sale for only $2.99. Mako, America's Body Shop.
Back here on the Now, South Florida, Adrian Peterson back on the field today with the Minnesota Vikings. Our Ann McNamara is joining us live right now. And Ann, while it may appear to be the end of a very long saga, it could really just be the beginning, huh?
It could, Shannon. Remember, he missed all of last season, suspended, indicted on child abuse charges for disciplining his son with a switch. He avoided jail time, but then wound up on the commissioner's exempt list, meaning he missed most of the 2014 season. Well, he's back now, but seems to be dragging his feet a little bit. Peterson still has 3 years left on his contract. It's worth about $45 million, but it's no longer guaranteed. The team could actually cut him at any time. Shannon?
And what about a trade? Possible?
Well, there are rumors. They're certainly out there, but Peterson maybe would join another team. The Vikings, though, have been pretty clear. They said he plays for them or he doesn't play at all.
Ann McNamara, thanks so much. Breakfast, it's getting pricier these days, and bird flu, it's really to blame, actually. The egg supply is down across the country right now because of a widespread outbreak of bird flu. According to the USDA, more than 44 million birds have been affected so far. The current price of a dozen large eggs is 58% higher than just 1 month ago. The bottom line, expect egg prices to continue to rise. So brace yourself. It's swimsuit season, right? Ladies, are you a two-piecer or do you prefer to cover up a little bit more? 2 major retailers did a national survey about what kind of swimsuits we like to wear, and it apparently depends on where we live. The Now's Holly Davis taking a look at this.
TJ Maxx and Marshalls are behind this new survey. This right here, it's kind of interesting. Take a look. You've got Florida, let's see, New York, Texas, I believe. These are all states that love those one-piece bathing suits. Maine, on the other hand, D.C., and of course, California, that's where you'll find the bikinis. Some other interesting facts. Let's go ahead and go to the boards right here. In Florida, we love a good print on our one-piece bathing suit. New Yorkers like sportier one-pieces in solid colors. And California girls love ruffles and prints on their bikinis. Texas, Washington, Illinois, watch out, Retro. Those are the states where you will see that look. And while it seems like we see a lot of bikinis on the beaches, 70% of women surveyed said they are team one piece all the way. Shannon.
Holody, thanks for not asking me what I prefer. I appreciate that. Holody, thanks. What is a species on the verge of extinction due to survive? Newsy's Rebecca Dunn explains how virgin births work for the sawfish.
So this is a sawfish. They look kind of scary, like something out of a corny sci-fi flick. But the small-toothed sawfish is critically endangered, and scientists say the females are doing something rather drastic that species on the brink of extinction sometimes do, giving birth Virgin Mary style. This is according to new research published in the journal Current Biology. Researchers found 7 of the female sawfish they examined in Florida were likely the product of asexual reproduction, which is weird for a species that usually reproduces sexually. So here's how it works. Scientists say an unfertilized egg absorbs a sister cell that is almost identical to the egg. The offspring usually don't survive, but the sawfishes did, and they appeared to be healthy to boot. And scientists found this by chance. They were observing a sawfish population in an estuary in Florida to see if they would mate with relatives. So they essentially went searching for inbreeding and got virgin births. It's the first time researchers had seen this type of asexual breeding occur in the wild. Sky News reports these virgin births had only previously been seen in animals in captivity, and that this was a sawfish's way to cheat extinction. The discovery is important because it's causing us to rethink what we thought we knew about reproduction in vertebrates. One scientist involved in the research said in a statement this discovery could rewrite the biology books. The small-toothed sawfish is currently listed as critically endangered, so this extra reproductive help is needed. For Newsy, I'm Rebecca Dunn. Watch Newsy 24/7 on your TV or download the Newsy app for on-the-go updates.
Rebecca, as sea turtle hatchling season ramps up, we're reminded to try to stay turtle-friendly on the beach. That means watching pets so they don't disturb sea turtle nests, especially on those dog-friendly beaches, and don't disturb them yourself. Also, never handle a hatchling, a turtle hatchling. It sounds pretty, like it's common sense, but it's a good reminder right now. And also, don't block their path to the ocean if you see one trying to make it in there. Remove all your beach furniture and dispose of your trash properly. We all ask, what can I do to help? That's a simple one. Pick up your trash. Put it in the trash can.
Very true.
Also, follow those lighting requirements that we all know so well living along the coastline for the turtle nesting season. And if you come across a hatchling in distress, you should call Florida Fish and Wildlife 1-888-404-FWCC. Nesting season, by the way, runs March 1st through November 15th. Here in the Weather Center now, and you are a busy guy once again, Steve.
Yeah,
wow.
Most of the rain falls, back around the lake and out of the coast. So if you're headed out tonight, I would bring an umbrella because you'll probably get a soaker or two, but nothing too significant.
Okay.
Yeah, we need the wet weather too.
We do.
Look at the radar, and you can see the showers and storms are pretty much around the lake. There is some rain up around Vero and Sebastian, and more rain possible tonight. We have a little weather maker that's coming in off the Gulf of Mexico that'll bring us some wet weather. There's a look at the current radar loop. And strongest or heaviest rain, that would be western Martin County, where that flood advisory continues until 5:30. But obviously, this cell has just really washed out, so it's not going to be a big impact. And we are looking at the rain tapering off in Vero and Sebastian, and a little rain working in through Port St. Lucie and White City and Fort Pierce. There's a closer look. So this is all headed to Okeechobee. Okeechobee, right now, you're probably quiet, no rain. Wait 10 minutes. That rain's starting to work in. It's right on your doorstep. And there's northern Treasure Coast and Palm Beach County. Wow, what a split pattern here. You draw a line right across the county, and you can see it's quiet, dry, but cloudy. And then back toward the lake, we have that rain that's going to linger. So we issued the weather alert day just to give you a chance to get the umbrella out. And the strong storms pretty much stayed around the lake. We have some rain working in tonight, too. We could still see some lightning strikes and some gusty winds. The forecast stays a little soggy the next few days, and we're going to talk about that coming up. Shannon.
Thanks for the warning, Steve. We appreciate it. Flight delays. It's the worst, right? You're sitting in there waiting for your flight to take off, and you're extended 3 times. Well, now one airline says it has a solution for staying on time. This new service they're hoping will keep you moving. And a sick little boy sees his dream come true. The incredible Super Mario bedroom makeover. WPTV News Channel 5, Treasure Coast Newspapers, and TCPalm.com, the largest news partnership on the Treasure Coast.
Insurance is a major part of our everyday life, whether it's home, auto, or health insurance. Unfortunately, there are some scammers out there who are offering up fake policies that don't exist at all and offer you no protection. I'm joined now by Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine to tell us what we need to know if we've been a victim of some of these fraudulent agents. Has happened to me, gentlemen, and I know it's happened to a lot of people. What's our course of action?
I think the first thing to always do is get a referral. Don't just randomly select someone without knowing who you're working with. And that's true whether you're picking an attorney, whether you're picking an insurance company or an agent. You know, try to get a referral and know people who have worked with that company in the past so that you know that they do things right. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of phone calls lately where clients are basically, they think they're insured. They have an insurance card, they have paperwork that is showing that they have coverage that they paid for, and it turns out that the insurance agency's address is a vacant lot and that policy was never bound with the insurance company and they were just scammed out of their money.
So you can be the victim without even knowing it.
Insurance is something that needs to be there when a rainy day happens, and you got to make sure that when you're purchasing it, know the company that you're buying, make sure it's a reputable company. You know, contact that company and make sure that policy is actually being submitted, and review any documents to make sure that all the information that's being provided is accurate.
Right, so follow-up is key. You can't just take these companies' words for it.
You got to be a diligent consumer, and one of the things you've got to do to protect yourself from what the scenario that you had is make sure you purchase what's called uninsured motorist coverage, and that's really a very important coverage, which protects you from being involved in a situation where the person who hit you either doesn't have insurance or might have purchased insurance from one of these fly-by-nights or one of these scams. So you really have to protect yourself.
Very good. For more information, call 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733, or go to southfloridainjurylaw.com.
Legal Playbook is sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine.
Rapids Water Park is the one where you get big through park fun barefooting. In the sun barefooting. Getting so barefooting. At the Rapids barefooting.
Yeah, you got to get barefooting at Rapids, the thrill park, with 35 exciting rides, wild slides, and the all-new Barefootin' Bag. Plus, save $5 with coupons from Subway restaurants. For a big day of fun you'll never forget, it's Rapids, the thrill park.
At the Rapids barefooting.
Park open daily.
My job every day is helping people become successful. And the funny part is that that's exactly what they do at Kaiser University. You know, Kaiser University opened some doors for me. It created a new level of respect that I really didn't experience before. I don't think I would have had these opportunities had I not gone and gotten my MBA at Kaiser University.
We're back here on the Now South Florida Right This Minute shows us their creepy cam here. A dashboard video catches a stranger at an empty intersection and even growls at the driver. Take a look.
What's up, the Now? I'm Beth Troutman.
And I'm Nick Calderon. Creepy. You're driving along. Dash cam from Dash Cam Owners of Australia. The guy, 1:30 in the morning, pitch dark, comes across this truck parked across his lane. Dude just standing there in a hoodie, not looking at the car, looking down at the ground, kind of steps towards the car. The car stops. That's when the guy steps closer and like screams at him. You hear the guy then mash the gas, take off. The scariest part, the driver here knew his wife was about a minute behind him. No word on what this dude was up to. Nobody hurt, nobody robbed or anything, just weird.
He sounds like a tiger.
Doesn't he? Why would you do that?
I think it's a ghost.
Could be.
For all the latest videos, you can catch us on Right This Minute.
We love the hypothesis, guys. You can catch the full episode of Right This Minute at 7:30, right after the list. I'm here in the newsroom, as you can see, and I'm standing by Michael Williams getting ready for the 5 o'clock news. 5 o'clock anchor and News Channel 5 anchor. I'm supposed to say all that now. News Channel 5's 5 o'clock anchor, Michael Williams.
How about just Michael?
Hey, Michael, what's going on?
I know what shift I work. Anyways, always good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Awful story, but there's been an arrest. The story of that dog in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Its mouth, its muzzle taped shut. They've made an arrest in that case.
Good.
We're going to bring that to you. The nationwide attention. This poor animal, so many of us, I know you are, animal lovers, and to see an animal treated that way, just awful. Well, they finally, after a lot of publicity, a lot of outcry, and the dog's doing better, made an arrest. We're going to tell you about that.
And they said, those animal rescue workers said that was the worst case of animal abuse they had seen in that region.
Yeah, they'd ever seen. So
incredible.
That's a case where the social media and where that spreads like wildfire makes a difference. I think it was the kind of thing that put a lot of focus and probably helped lead right to the person who they say they will now charge.
And help crack that case. Michael, we'll see you at 5. Looking forward to that report. Appreciate it. Parenting, it is a tough job for sure, no matter how many kids you have or children you have. But you can imagine 9 under the age of 7. We're going to introduce you to one family where that is a reality day in and day out, coming up here on The Now. But first, the Now team's favorite story of the day. This is just incredible video. It's going to help you a lot, too, in your planning. A simulator that is creating 150-mile-per-hour winds and these waves as well. It's an incredible tool that scientists are using right now to help us get a handle on massive hurricanes if they come our way. We're going to break all this down for you on the other side of the break.
When it's 5 o'clock on News Channel 5, you need to know what's happening right now. Steve Winkle with weather, safety, and accuracy right when and where you need it. WVTV News Channel 5.
Why do dads love Carvel? Simple. It's delicious. Give Dad a fresh-made Fudgy the Whale cake for Father's Day. America's freshest ice cream. Only at Carvel.
Enjoy your new shield.
Thanks. How much did you spend on this?
Nothing. It was free, and they put it in just a day.
Well, if it was free and they put it in that fast, how good could it be?
You tell me.
She's got a Sloman Shield, the ultimate home security system. It's free, and yes, it's real good.
Okay, the system's great, honey. Please disarm it.
I see an F-150 barreling down the road, and he's on his cell phone texting, and he didn't stop and went right into the back of my car. I couldn't go back to work, and I was wondering every month, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to pay the bills?
A different law firm couldn't get Cliff what he deserved, so we took over.
They don't treat you like someone off the street. They take you, hold you, and guide you through the whole process.
Call Kogan and DeSalvo now.
Yo! No thank you for the bag, man. I hooked you up, bro. Try getting a deal like that from some other bag. Bet you feel rich now. Hey, ladies, this dude's loaded.
Checkers and Rally's 2-for-2 deal is back. Your favorite crispy fish with Alaskan filet or our boldly seasoned spicy chicken sandwich. Mix or match them for just $2.
Hey, man, how about a fry for the lady?
Checkers and Rally's.
Send the bag.
Eyeglass World asks, what do you look for when you buy glasses?
I like to mix it up, so I need bold styles, classic styles, and affordable prices. Having lots of choices and saving money is important. That's why I come to Eyeglass World.
Only Eyeglass World gives you 2 pairs for $78, so you can always afford more than 1 pair.
My glasses are part of my personal style. They're me.
Eyeglass World. Glasses that make the difference. Prices that make it possible.
You decided to downsize your home. Then I said the contract should include an inspection, which revealed you weren't alone. Let a RE/MAX agent guide you. RE/MAX, dream with your eyes open.
How do we make Carvel Sundays even more delicious? We make one free. Every Wednesday, buy 1 classic sundae, get another free. America's freshest ice cream, only at Carvel.
Here on the Now South Florida, we're going to recap the local headlines in 90 seconds here. Former Rosarian Academy teacher Stephen Budd found guilty of molesting 2 4th-grade students. The sentence, life in prison. After the verdict was read today, one victim told the judge what Budd did to her when she was just 9 years old scarred her for life. The school released a statement today saying they hope that the verdict brings closure to the victims and their families. The Indian River County Sheriff answering questions about video related to a prisoner who ended up on life support. Here you can see Brad Martinez getting into a jail transport vehicle on Friday after his bond had just been revoked, but the video appears to freeze and you never actually see him get in as the clock does continue to run. The sheriff says that these cameras at the courthouse, they're new and they are motion sensitive, resulting in occasional pauses and freezes at times. 4 cars were set on fire overnight in Palm Beach County. So who did it? And are all of these fires related? Police looking into all of this today. The first vehicle, an SUV, that went up in flames around 3 o'clock this morning at a Goodyear tire store on North Lake Boulevard. Then an hour later, 3 more cars. Fires were set to those. One on Park Avenue, one on Dixie Highway, and one on Water Tower Road. And that is a quick look at your news in 90 seconds. Well, here is one for you. How about an airplane valet? Sounds good. Let's see how much it costs, right? Ann McNamara tells us about this idea that could ensure your flight takes off on time.
They're calling it early valet. Delta Airlines proposing a pilot program. The airline would actually stow your carry-on above your own assigned seat for you. The idea is to get you on and off the plane faster. According to a study at Northern Illinois University, every minute a flight idles at the gate, the airlines lose $30. Now multiply that by thousands of flights a day, it really adds up. Delta plans to test early valet this August in Atlanta, New York, LA, Detroit, Salt Lake City, Minneapolis, and Seattle. It will be specifically for flights with a lot of vacationers on them. The airline says business travelers, they've got that whole packing the carry-on and the overhead thing down pat. Back to you.
Ann, thanks. The start of hurricane season is here, and it means it's time to make sure that your home is storm ready. We were talking about that yesterday, but what if it was built to withstand the 150 mile per hour winds or even more than that? The Now's Jay Cashmere joins us now to tell us about incredible experiments being done here in South Florida and how it really could be a reality for us down the road in building and construction and all this.
Certainly is. Hurricane Andrew, you remember, just changed building codes across South Florida. And as each year goes on, we learn more and more technology advances. Well, now hurricane simulators are advancing to such a point that we haven't seen anything like this. Researchers at the University of Miami have come up with a new system, a new hurricane simulator called Sustain. It is a very fitting name for its ultimate goal, and the goal is learning how to withstand a Cat 5 hurricane. Unlike other simulators, this one mimics ocean currents as well as powerful winds. This huge tank uses 1,400 horsepower fans to generate winds of more than 150 miles an hour. Scientists working with it say don't even think about stepping inside.
No, there's no way you could be able, you would be blown, certainly blown through the back of the system.
Now, Dr. Haas there, the expert says Sustain will give his team better data about which type of structures stand up to these powerful winds so we can build more resilient communities along our coastline. And what's interesting here, Shannon, it's also showing scientists how pollutants like oil can spread across the ocean during a storm. So we're getting two aspects of this very unique system.
Incredible. It's going on in Miami. I want that house, that greenhouse that was in the video.
That was very nice.
It really was.
It is.
I mean, you know, if it's going to withstand 150 mile per hour winds.
Well, we are learning how to build houses from that.
Love it. Love that story. That was our producer's favorite story of the day because we really believe this is the future and we're kind of giving you a glimpse inside it. Jay, thanks. I'll see you at 5:30. Good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Had a nice vacation. The location is Florida this time in another event that is bringing Republican presidential hopefuls to one place to pitch themselves to activists. Governor Rick Scott hosting what is billed as an economic summit at the moment, and at least 8 announced or likely GOP hopefuls will be speaking at this event. Florida, of course, a major electoral prize, and is likely to hold a mid-March primary where the winner would take all of the state's delegates. Incredible. Sunshine State natives Jeb Bush and Senator Marco Rubio would presumably have the inside track to win the state, but you know, you can't count on anything in politics, right? But that did not stop other GOP notables today from making their case. Listen.
The great thing about the fair tax, and I think you guys are going to love this, we would eliminate, I mean literally eliminate, the Internal Revenue Service, the biggest bully in America, and get that incredible, monstrous, rogue agency off our backs once and for all.
Rubio was scheduled to speak today, by the way, but Senate votes in Washington, D.C. prevented him from actually appearing in person. So, which are the most well-read cities in America? We were talking about this around the editorial meeting. According to Amazon's annual top 20 list, Seattle is #1 overall, determined by the company's sales of books and magazines and newspapers in both print and electronic formats, too. #2, Portland, Oregon. Las Vegas was #3 overall. Kind of surprising, isn't it? But it was #1 in the sales of romance titles. Tucson, Arizona came in at #4, and Washington, D.C. was #5 overall, but #1 in the sales of the old school printed books. I like those myself. Jacksonville, by the way, was the only Florida city in the top 20, came in at #17. So what are all these folks reading? Gone Girl. was the top seller in 7 of those top 20 markets. Incredible. CNN's serious note here. CNN's Elizabeth Cohen is investigating a local hospital right now, and some tough numbers coming out about that medical facility when it comes to heart surgeries performed on babies. Her investigation coming up in just a couple of minutes from now.
We're donating!
And you can help too. Come to the Operation Sneaks kickoff event at Festival Flea Market Mall on June 6th. Donate shoes or backpacks during Operation Sneaks and receive 20 Festa value dollars. Operation Sneaks benefits in Jacobs Shoes.
When it's 5 o'clock on News Channel 5, you need to know what's happening right now. Steve Winkle with weather, safety, and accuracy right when and where you need it. WPTV News Channel 5.
You want to stay inside until the storm's passed. This is a very serious weather situation.
It's a miracle no one was hurt or killed.
Enjoy your new shield.
Thanks. How much did you spend on this?
Nothing. It was free, and they put it in just a day.
Well, if it was free and they put it in that fast, how good could it be?
You tell me.
She's got a Sloman Shield, the ultimate home security system. It's free, and yes, it's real good.
Okay, the system's great, honey. Please disarm it.
Excellence. How do you find it? It's fueled by passion, thrives on persistence, and demands nothing less than total dedication. My name is Mark Anajar.
And I'm Glenn Levine.
Our mission to deliver excellence in legal services is what makes a world of difference.
Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE for a consultation.
My family and I are having dinner at our favorite restaurant. Can you tell who at this table is hearing better with all this noise?
Right.
If you assumed it was one of them, you'd be mistaken. Thanks to the revolutionary technology of Ultra hearing aids, exclusively from Hear USA, I hear better than others with normal hearing in noisy places, like this restaurant. 2 clinical studies have proven that Ultra hearing aids outperform normal hearing in certain demanding listening situations.
Watch, Dad'll probably get 2 desserts.
I heard that.
Of course you did.
Ultra hearing aids are so advanced, you can even adjust your settings using your smartphone. The future of hearing technology is here, and it's more powerful than anyone could have imagined. There's nothing else like it. Try them out for yourself. Call Hear USA now to schedule your free hearing checkup. And you'll also receive a free $25 gift card. Don't wait. Start hearing what you want to hear today.
We're donating!
And you can help too. Come to the Operation Sneaks kickoff event at Festival Flea Market Mall on June 6th. Donate shoes or backpacks during Operation Sneaks and receive 20 Festa value dollars. Operation Sneaks benefits in Jacobs Shoes.
Back here on the Now South Florida, a boy battling a major illness has been shocked when he realized his dream of a Nintendo-themed bedroom come true. Look at his face. Isn't this a great story? 6-year-old Kai Dunchenko is battling muscular dystrophy, and all he wanted was a Super Mario bedroom. The people at Sweet Dreams Foundation made that a reality. Demolition of his bedroom started back on May 15th, and the finished product was unveiled to him just yesterday.
This one here is a lot of work. The brown paper bag floor, I would say, was probably the most work, and the painting of the bed because of all the detail work.
Incredible. During the construction of Kai's new bedroom, one of the workers had $600 worth of tools stolen out of his truck. That, however, did not stop the Sweet Dreams Foundation from completing this project. It's one happy Kai. If you have kids, you know how chaotic it can be. Chaotic it can be around the house, even if you just have one kid, right? The Now's Roxanne Stein takes us to a home where there is never a dull moment. Roxanne?
If you're a harried parent, you're going to feel a real kinship with Loma and Emma Uhila. This is a trending story from New Zealand. It's giving new meaning to Full House. You see, they're expecting their 4th set of twins in 5 years. Let's go through this chronologically. Here's the family. The boy was 11 months old when they found out that they were expecting twin girls in 2010, followed by twin girls in 2011. twins again, girls, in 2013. So here they are, and imagine their surprise because twins don't run in the family. But here's mom with their 3 sets of twins, and then they found out months ago that they are expecting again next month, and again, it's twins. Shock doesn't even begin to describe how they felt with their first set of twins, not to mention their 4. So let's go through the numbers here. 4 sets of twins, all within 5 years. And if you're counting and keeping track of all this, that's 9 kids under the age of 7. It gives new meaning to chaos. They say it's crazy chaos, and they wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know, Shannon, you've got 2 boys, and I know they are rambunctious. A lot of fun, but rambunctious. How would you deal with that, huh?
I don't know. I guess you get good at the twin thing, and you just have everything sitting side by side. You don't have much of a choice. You just figure it out, right, Rox? Roxanne, thanks. That's a fun story to share. Well, a little switching gears here. Some disturbing news today about security screeners failing tests performed at an undercover or by an undercover team. The shocking safety violations that got right past them. Plus this.
Are you guilty of sharing, putting pictures of your kids all over your Facebook or your Twitter feed? Well, next, hear why you may want to think twice before that next post.
It's early morning. You're up because, well, the work never stops.
The weather team is so important to me because I need accurate, reliable information.
WPTV Storm Team 5, only in one neighborhood that matters, yours.
I have to know what and where the weather is happening.
Showcasing the storm from every angle.
I'm watching and waiting on that radar to find out what my afternoon's going to look like.
Storm Team 5, the only morning weather team. Today on 5 on WPTV News Channel 5.
If you've been denied VA benefits, visit fortheinjured.com or call 333-3333. Gordon and Donner, for our veterans.
There is no time to waste. Get Xfinity Internet for just $14.99 a month for 12 months. This is the best internet offer of the year. So get started for $14.99 a month. Or ask about other packages and get the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. AT&T Uverse can't give you the speed Xfinity does. Call 1-800-XFINITY to get a great offer on Xfinity Internet. Or ask how to get started for as low as $14.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Hi, I'm Mike Sonsini, one of the owners of Screen Builders. You may have seen news reports about a fraudulent company with a name similar to ours. I'd like to set the record straight. Our company, Screen Builders, has been serving the South Florida community for 28 years. We don't cut corners. So remember, we're the original Screen Builders. We're here to stay and will continue serving you with honesty, integrity, and customer service.
Managing depression. It's about getting you back to you and all the things that matter to you. Whether or not you're taking an antidepressant, feelings such as depressed mood and lack of energy can still get in the way. And that's just not you. We're conducting a clinical research study evaluating an investigational drug designed to work with antidepressants to see if it can help address unresolved symptoms of depression. So give us a call and see if you may be eligible to participate.
When you have a hole in your neck, don't face the shower head. Keep your stomach covered when you're outside. Be very careful shaving. Get used to eating only soft foods. Clean out your speech valve twice a day.
Find 3 ways to quit at tobaccofreeflorida.com. Call, click, or come in.
You're driving along and then it happens. You get hurt in a car accident.
Rubenstein Law starts working on your accident case the minute you call. Now that's fast.
I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein. Call me. I want to be your attorney.
Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Now look at what is making national and international news this afternoon. Our Ashley Henson standing by in the feed room with what's coming in on the satellites. Ashley?
Shannon, the race is on to find hundreds of people who went missing when their cruise ship capsized off the coast of China. 456 people were on board that ship. Only 14 have been found alive so far. Right now, rescue crews are working to figure out how to turn the boat upright. The director of TSA resigning in the wake of a disturbing report that found airport screeners didn't detect explosives and weapons in almost every test conducted by an undercover Homeland Security team. Melvin Caraway, that's the director, he'll be reassigned to a different job in the Department of Homeland Security. Secretary of State John Kerry is back in America, where he just got out of surgery for his broken leg. Kerry crashed his bike in France when he hit a curb on a Tour de France route. We're told the break happened near the same spot where he had a previous hip surgery, but he is doing just fine. His senior advisor says his surgery went well. The wildlife park in South Africa, where a lion killed an American woman, is back open, and we're told it will be operating as usual. The American tourist was killed on Monday when a lioness attacked her through an open car window. Park rules state car windows must be kept closed. And it looks like cable customers aren't very happy with their providers, in particular Comcast and Time Warner. The number 1 and number 2 cable providers received the 2 worst customer satisfaction ratings out of 300 total companies. Ratings were based on things like customer service, HD picture quality, and problems with on-screen program guides. And those are your headlines in about 90 seconds. Shannon,
they have some work cut out for them.
They
for
really
sure.
do. Work on it.
Ashley, thank you. I'm here in the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Steve Wiegel. It's been a busy afternoon running into 5 minutes.
Yeah, and we're looking at some more rain, Shannon. So if you're headed out tonight, you grab the umbrella just in case. I think overnight actually is our best chance for rainfall. Here's a look at what's going on with the radar right now. And the biggest rains are back around the lake and moving toward the west coast of Florida, but we will see some showers here. So we called a weather alert day, but really just persistent showers and rain tonight. Rumble of thunder possible, especially around the lake, and soaking rains for Wednesday. We'll talk more about that coming up at 5.
All right, Steve, thanks so much. Sick of seeing pictures of other people's kids in your news feed? It's called sharenting, parents who overshare on social media. The Now's Ann McNamara takes a look at how the phenomenon could have long-lasting effects.
The average parent shares 973 photos of their kid before he or she turns 5 years old. That is according to a new study from the online site The Parent Zone. And what's worse, they found some parents never check their privacy settings.
She's usually okay on what I share.
Mary Berwin shares pictures of her daughter on Facebook, but her daughter Lucy told us she doesn't want them posted.
Because some pictures are embarrassing. Really embarrassing.
The idea of sharenting, or parents oversharing online, can be problematic. New research from the online safety site The Parent Zone says 17% of parents ignore Facebook privacy settings, and 46% have only checked once or twice.
This generation of parents are the guinea pigs.
Sarah Clark from the C.S. Mott Children's Hospital in Michigan says in most cases, parents don't have the rights to the pictures, and neither do the kids. Terms and conditions in fine print say they legally belong to the site itself.
There have been some notable cases where people posted photos of their kids on Facebook. The photos were later used in advertisements and brochures without any request or permissions from the parents. Because that's perfectly legal.
Because while mom's intentions for sharing are good,
Mostly to share with friends and family, across the country and the world.
No one wants pictures of their kids to get in the wrong hands. Clark recommends parents run those pictures by a trustworthy friend before they post. And if the person says to stop, Clark says you should really listen. At the Now National Desk, I'm Ann McNamara.
Thanks. This afternoon, a CNN investigation. The network's Elizabeth Cohen has obtained a report that focuses on St. Mary's Medical Center. It's a hospital just up the road from our television station here. The hospital doing some of the most delicate and difficult surgeries on babies, pediatric open heart surgeries, in fact. And she found some of those cases went terribly wrong. CNN is reporting that state health officials have known about some of these problems for years. Here now, Elizabeth Cohen.
Just weeks into life, this tiny baby, Layla McCarthy, needed heart surgery. Here at St. Mary's Medical Center in West Palm Beach, Florida, Dr. Michael Black performed the delicate procedure to widen Layla's narrow aorta, a defect she'd had since birth.
He just made it seem like he was the best person to do this.
Yes. It was very no sweat, don't worry about it. No, it's a walk in the park.
But the surgery was a disaster.
I looked at her and her legs had started, they had stiffened up a lot and they started going in almost a tabletop position.
After the surgery, Layla was paralyzed. Here she is today. The McCarthys had no idea that their daughter's tragedy had a disturbing backstory, one that no one had told them. Just 3 months before Layla's operation, a baby had died after heart surgery by Dr. Black. And 5 months before that, Alexander Gutierrez Mercado had died. And a month and a half before that, Kiari Sanders had passed away.
It's horrible that you go into a program like that and they can be dishonest with you and they don't feel the need to tell you what has happened there before.
1 week after the surgery that left Layla paralyzed, Amelia Campbell died after heart surgery. Then Parrish Wright a few months later, and Landon Summerford 8 months after that. St. Mary's keeps its death rate a secret, revealing a death rate they tell CNN could potentially lead to providing misleading information to consumers. But CNN has calculated a death rate based on these internal hospital reports, which include surgical caseloads. We calculate that from 2011 to 2013, the death rate for open heart surgery on children at St. Mary's Medical Center was more than 3 times higher than the national average. These are all parents who lost their babies after heart surgery by Dr. Black at St. Mary's. They hadn't met each other until they sat down to talk with us.
He really sounded like he knew what he was doing.
All I could do was believe in his words, and it was the opposite of what he said.
So your baby was transferred to a different hospital?
They couldn't do anything for her. She was a vegetable. All her organs had shut down, everything.
At the second hospital, did they explain what happened in the first hospital?
The previous doctor, Dr. Michael Black, kinked her artery, and that's why it wasn't getting any blood flow to the left side of her heart.
This is really difficult to hear. Just to hear what other mothers went through, and that this seems to be pervasive.
St. Mary's, owned by Tenet Healthcare, says CNN is wrong about the program's death rate, but refuses to provide what it considers the correct death rate. The hospital and the heart surgeon, Dr. Black, rejected requests for an on-camera interview, so we tracked down CEO David Carboni to give him a chance to explain.
Hi, Mr. Carboni. It's Elizabeth Cohen at CNN. Hi, Mr. Carboni. It's Elizabeth Cohen at CNN. How are you, sir? Sir, we want to know what the death rate is for your babies at the pediatric heart hospital in your program.
He also wouldn't answer the parents' question. Why did so many babies die at St. Mary's? Last year, a team of doctors from the state of Florida's Children's Medical Services evaluated the program. It was at the request of St. Mary's, which sought to, quote, evaluate and identify opportunities for improvement. The head of the team, Dr. Jeffrey Jacobs, a professor of cardiac surgery at Johns Hopkins, found St. Mary's was doing too few surgeries to get good at it. How few? In the United States, 80% of children's heart surgery programs perform more than 100 surgeries a year, each procedure giving them valuable expertise. But the review of St. Mary's program shows in 2013, the hospital performed just 23 operations. It is unlikely that any program will be capable of obtaining and sustaining high quality when performing less than 2 operations per month, Dr. Jacobs wrote. The reviewers also found the program lacking in expertise in electrophysiology and cardiac catheterizations. Their findings, reported to Florida's health department, were so scathing that when CNN tried to get these copies from the state, Carboni, the St. Mary's CEO, tried to intervene. Considering the major complications like Layla's and the deaths of Amelia and the other babies, Dr. Jacobs concluded the situation at St. Mary's is not the failure of any one individual, it is the failure of the entire team and system.
The state of Florida has a letter that says there's been a failure.
I don't think they should do any more surgery on kids at St. Mary's. St. Mary's not qualified for surgery. That's that.
Dr. Jacobs recommended that St. Mary's stop doing complex heart surgeries on children and stop doing any heart surgeries on babies younger than 6 months old. But St. Mary's didn't listen. Just 10 days after receiving that recommendation, St. Mary's did a complex surgery on 18-day-old Jashni Desamores. And 10 months later, St. Mary's did another complex surgery on 16-day-old Davy Ricardo Brandau. Both suffered terrible complications and had to go on life support. And more babies died. Weston Thermitis in April 2014, and just this past May, Milagros Flores died. In total, that's at least 8 deaths and 3 serious complications since the program started. The hospital responds that the recommendations to limit surgeries were just that, recommendations, not mandates. In his statement, the St. Mary's CEO told us, "We are working carefully to improve our volumes." So how did the state of Florida respond when it received these doctors' concerning reviews? Remarkably, the state says they investigated, and none of the issues raised broke any rules, and that St. Mary's is legally authorized to operate. In statements, Florida health officials told us the death of any child is a tragedy, and we will continue to closely monitor this program and this facility. That leaves these parents infuriated.
Every day somebody's making a decision to allow some parent to bring their child and to turn them over into the care of a group of people that aren't fit to do what they're doing.
These parents want to know why St. Mary's is still doing heart surgeries on babies. And the answer may come down to one thing: money. According to a study on one type of open heart operation, for one surgery on one baby, a hospital collects more than $500,000. In response to lawsuits filed by the families of Kiari Sanders and Layla McCarthy, St. Mary's and Dr. Michael Black denied any wrongdoing. These parents are left to grieve.
I never got a chance to hold her, none of that.
And you had to watch your baby
suffer.
The McCarthys say they're actually fortunate that their daughter is only paralyzed. She's still with them. A lot of other parents can't say the same. Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Now, Tenet Healthcare, which owns St. Mary's, released this statement. The CNN story relies upon a selective presentation of cases and data to create a misleading perception of the program and Dr. Michael Black, a well-respected surgeon. You can read more of Tenet's full statement and more about this investigation on our website, WPTV.com. Also on our website right now, how to choose a heart surgeon for your child should you need one. We have a list of that, or at least tips for you right now, and a list of some of the hospitals, local hospitals' mortality rates posted on our website right now, WPTV.com. Much more on this story coming up on News Channel 5 at 5. That'll do it for the Now South Florida. News Channel 5 at 5 begins right now.
A weather alert day. We're tracking rain moving across the area.
This could impact the drive home, and it is a welcome sight for those who have dry lawns. Let's get over to Storm Team 5 Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel. Steve?
Yeah, we have a system in the Gulf that we're keeping a close eye on. We're looking at more rain working in later tonight. We have some rain around the lake at this point. We had strong storms pop up earlier this afternoon. Those have now obviously pushed toward the lake, and it's fairly quiet along the coastline. We still have some lingering showers popping up around Sebastian, and also some persistent rain that is working in across Lake Okeechobee. But the strong storms have come to an end, and we had at one point even a flood advisory for western Martin County. That has now actually it extended to the next 30 minutes, but that rain's almost done. Also, Fellsmere picking up some light rain at this point. That'll taper off soon. And western Palm Beach County picking up some light rain as we get into the early evening hours. So here's what we're looking at. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, but rain redeveloping by midnight, and more soaking rains on the way as we get into Wednesday. We'll talk more about the forecast this week. Looks like we're in a wet weather pattern for a few days. We'll talk about it in the weekend forecast coming up.
New developments on that CNN investigation you just watched into baby deaths at St. Mary's Medical Center. At least 8 babies have died since the pediatric open heart surgery program at St. Mary's Medical Center began in December 2011. Contact 5 investigator Katie Lagrone spent the day digging into how the state is responding and what's next for the doctors facing a number of serious allegations. Katie?
Kelly, today the Florida agency tasked with overseeing hospitals isn't responding at all, while St. Mary's Medical Center remains on the defense. This, of course, after the CNN investigation found, as you mentioned, at least 8 babies have died inside the hospital's 4-year-old pediatric open heart surgery unit. Those deaths included Alexander Gutierrez Mercado. A month and a half before him, Kiari Sanders also passed away after surgery with the same surgeon, Dr. Michael Black. In the latest statement from St. Mary's Hospital sent to the Contact 5 investigators late this afternoon, a spokesperson writes, "The program is open and remains open. Dr. Michael Black is a 25-year veteran in cardiac surgery and was recruited to lead our pediatric heart surgery program because of his impressive background. According to CNN's calculations, the death rate in this unit at St. Mary's Medical Center is more than 3 times the national average. We contacted Dr. Black's office, a person there telling us they've not received a ton of calls from current patients, but are expecting to. We've also learned that next month, Dr. Black will be interviewed for the first time by attorneys representing families who are now suing him and the hospital. Katie Legrone, WPTV News Channel 5.
Mr. Budd no longer has control over me. I can now have control over myself and my future.
Victims saying they are finally able to move on with their lives. A jury convicting the man who molested them in 4th grade, sending him to prison for the rest of his life. News Channel 5's Brian Entin is live outside the Palm Beach County Courthouse with reaction to the Stephen Budd verdict. Brian.
Michael, the 2 victims are just weeks away from going to college, spending the last week just feet from their former teacher, the man who sexually molested them almost every day of the 4th grade. And prosecutors say it is those victims and their strength and their bravery that make it so that man, Stephen Budd, won't be able to do that to anyone else.
Find the defendant guilty of sexual battery.
Guilty on all counts. Stephen Budd shows no emotion, learning he'll spend the rest of his life locked up, now classified as a sexual predator.
I believe that because I wasn't able to protect myself or the other victim in the 4th grade, that I need to protect others now.
Incredibly strong victims telling the judge how the molestation in 4th grade at Rosarian Academy changed their lives.
Despite whatever the jury ultimately rendered, that it was gaining her own power and giving power to that voice through the duration of this trial.
And anytime you have an adult in a position of power who takes advantage of that power, I mean, that's just such a violation.
The principal of Rosarian Academy releasing a statement saying they hope the verdict can bring closure to the victims and that prayers and support will help them heal.
I now have the comfort of knowing I saved other potential victims, Mr. Budd. When I'm up at night unable to sleep or woken by nightmares of him, these are the things I'm able to think of.
We learned today that Stephen Budd was actually offered a plea deal before this trial to 25 years in prison, but he turned it down. His attorney after the verdict not saying much, but he did say that his client maintains his innocence. Live outside the courthouse, Brian Entin, WPTV News Channel 5.
The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a man was shot in Mangonia Park. It happened around 2:30 today outside Carlton's Chicken and Seafood off Australian Avenue. Detectives do not know who the shooter is right now. The victim was taken to the hospital. We're still waiting to learn his condition.
The Indian River County Sheriff continues to defend the actions of his deputies after an inmate ended up on life support following a ride back to the jail from the court. Today, the sheriff's responding to critics about a video released of the inmate, saying it fails to tell the whole story. News Channel 5's John Shainman has this update from Vero Beach.
As Brad Martinez prepares to get into a jail transport van last Friday at the Indian River County Courthouse, the video appears to freeze, and you never see Martinez get in. Sheriff Darrell Lohr says the cameras are motion sensitive, so if there isn't enough motion, it cuts off.
If you notice closely on the video, the time continued to run. But when the door was open, the camera sensor did not sense any motion. Therefore, you did not see that part.
That might not quiet social media critics commenting on a Facebook page entitled Justice for Brad Martinez. The car that was behind the transport van doesn't have a camera.
In this day and age, everyone is second guessed, including law enforcement most recently. But the fact is, we followed the facts, and there was no alteration of anything whatsoever.
Sometime during the 8-minute ride from the courthouse to the jail, Martinez suffered some type of medical emergency. He was found slumped against the wall of his segregated seating section.
This is an unfortunate situation, and when the investigation concludes with all of the factors, as well as the toxicology report, I think that will shed some light on this case.
Sheriff Lohr says anything his office learns from this incident will be examined and changes made if necessary. In Indian River County, John Shainman, WPTV News Channel 5.
The Senate has approved the USA Freedom Act. The Freedom Act would restore most provisions, including the collection of phone data, but with some adjustments. For example, phone companies would store the records, not the federal government. If the Senate passes the House-approved bill as expected, the Freedom Act will be sent to the White House for the president to sign into law. Takata, already at the center of the largest auto recall in history, says many of the cars already repaired will have to have a second airbag replacement. In a congressional hearing today, a company executive says many of the cars repaired have a device that is connected to the exploding airbags. The Japanese manufacturer has recalled about 34 million vehicles in the U.S. At least 6 deaths have been tied to shrapnel exploding in the driver or passenger seats. Officials estimate it will take at least 2 years to replace all of the defective airbags.
A preliminary report out today does not explain what caused an Amtrak train to derail in Philadelphia last month. The National Transportation Safety Board says it found the train had no equipment problems prior to derailment. So far, the train's braking systems, signals, and track geometry were found in working order. The May 12th crash left 8 people dead, more than 200 hurt. That train went around a curve at more than twice the rated speed. Authorities say the train was doing double that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit when this happened.
I'm Ashley Hinton, live in the feed room where tonight embattled FIFA president Sepp Blatter is stepping down as head of World Soccer's governing body. The news came as a surprise because Blatter was just reelected to a 5th term on Friday. The election also happening just days after 7 top officials were arrested on racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering charges. This is all part of a U.S.-led prosecution that also indicted 14 other people. A separate investigation is happening right now in Switzerland, and authorities say today's resignation will have no influence on that case. And by the way, Blatter did not say when a new election for president would be held. Michael, back to you.
Ashley, thank you. 7 Republican presidential candidates meeting in Florida today for an economic summit. Governor Rick Scott organized it. Not all of them, by the way. Shouldn't say all are candidates. Jeb Bush, everybody presumes he will be, but not yet. But the governor got them all together. Senator Marco Rubio in Washington because of a vote on renewing Patriot Act provisions. So he appeared on video giving a speech at the summit, and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush spoke this afternoon. Mr. Bush and Rubio, early favorites, of course, to carry Florida's GOP presidential primary, the huge favorites here. Mr. Rubio officially declared, Mr. Bush expected to do so soon.
Detectives right now are looking for a man wanted in connection with an armed robbery. The robbery happened Sunday at the Home Depot on South Jog Road in Lake Worth. The man, armed with a knife, confronted the clerk and demanded cash, then walked out of the store. He is right there in that picture wearing a red shirt and a black cap. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers.
A man from Delray Beach in court today after allegedly exposing himself to children. Brandon Lang arrested Monday outside a woman's home after the children say he exposed himself. Their parents called police about the incident. Lang was taken into custody after reportedly attempting to resist arrest.
No bond for this Riviera Beach man, Daniel Bush, facing several charges, including attempted murder. Police say he and another man tied a woman down and beat her in his Riviera Beach apartment. Police say he also tried to sexually assault her. Bush allegedly wanted a credit card number from the woman. She was able to break free and get help.
The acting head of the Transportation Security Administration has been reassigned after security failures were found at dozens of airports nationwide. An internal investigation by the Department of Homeland Security discovered security breaches at airports across the USA. Undercover investigators able to smuggle weapons and explosives through numerous checkpoints. Again, only a test here, but showed a lot of holes. Weapons were caught by TSA agents only 5% of the time. The TSA ordered to implement actions to try to correct these failures.
An American Airlines plane safely landed in Philadelphia and was met by police and bomb-sniffing dogs after someone called in a bomb threat. 88 passengers exited the plane. They were taken back to the terminal as the bomb squad searched the plane top to bottom. The plane was later given an all clear. Government officials said bomb threats were called in for at least 5 flights this morning. The other flights also landed safely.
They both left us decades ago, before we could give them the full recognition that they deserved. But it's never too late to say thank you.
President Obama awarding the Medal of Honor posthumously to 2 World War I soldiers who may have been denied the honor in the past, their supporters say, due to discrimination. Private Henry Johnson was sent overseas to fight with the French Army. Sergeant William Shemin, a Jewish soldier, served as a rifleman in France in 1918. Shemin's daughters accepted their father's Medal of Honor. It is, of course, America's highest military decoration and honor.
Coming up, out of the spotlight for years now is Casey Anthony getting ready to tell her story.
Taken by police, why these bicycles are now being returned in Delray Beach.
Then all new at 5:30, police warn of a new surge in the use of a dangerous drug. Why some say they're seeing it abused even more than alcohol.
And we'll help you plan for tomorrow morning and a few days away, but never too soon to think about the weekend. Storm Team 5 Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel with your most accurate weather forecast just minutes away.
The top speed of the Australian Wombat is 25 miles an hour.
I don't need a Wombat expert. I need an air conditioning expert.
Save up to $1,650 or pay no interest until 2020 on a new Trane air conditioning system.
Those guys.
You're up this early because you want to squeeze a little more out of your day.
I'm busy during the day. I want to know what the traffic conditions are.
WPTV Time Saver Traffic with the only local chopper covering your neighborhood.
They're going to alert me of any traffic conditions so that I can replan my route to work.
A first-hand look at traffic jams so you don't have to guess.
You get an aerial view of the entire area.
Chopper 5 Time Saver Traffic, the only morning traffic team. Today on 5 on WPTV News Channel 5.
Wendy's believes the key to a great cheeseburger is not cutting corners. 100% pure fresh beef, not frozen. Hand-prepped fresh produce, not from a bag. And not one made for just anybody. One made exactly how you like it. A cheeseburger like that deserves company, and so do you. So grab a friend, because right now, a Dave's Hot and Juicy single combo is just $5 when you order 2 or more. That's right, $5 each.
Mercedes-Benz of Palm Beach, where hospitality and friendly service is a family tradition. Mercedes-Benz of Palm Beach.
Enjoy your new Shield.
Thanks. How much did you spend on this?
Nothing. It was free, and they put it in just a day.
Well, if it was free and they put it in that fast, how good could it be?
You tell me.
She's got a Sloman Shield, the ultimate home security system. It's free, and yes, it's real good.
Okay, the system's great, honey. Please disarm it.
Watch the Honda Sports Desk for the latest local and national sports, powered by ESPN 106.3. Every night at 11, only on News Channel 5. Sponsored by the South Florida Honda Dealers. Visit sfhondadealers.com to find the dealer nearest you.
The air conditioner is good to go.
Now that's my kind of expert.
I was really impressed by that Wombat thing.
Call Lindstrom today and get a 19-point air conditioning tune-up for only $89.
Those guys.
Weather on WPTV is sponsored by Lindstrom Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
There are reports tonight Casey Anthony is planning a tell-all interview. This would be her first return to the public eye since being acquitted in the death of her daughter, Kaylee, 4 years ago. Casey has been seen a few times since then, recently attending a charity race in West Palm Beach. Anthony declared bankruptcy after her trial. No word on how much she would receive for the interview or which media outlet would agree to pay for it.
California lawmakers are coming under fire for hiring drivers to provide 24-hour service, this following the arrest of several state lawmakers for drunk driving. Now some are saying those drivers were hired simply to help avoid DUIs. Officially, they're for emergency services, but one California state senator says that's not the reality.
There's no reason to have anybody on staff 24 hours a day, which is really nothing more than a specialized transport for those that may overindulge.
Why is that service offered to them? Why they make enough money? Like, why not have the drunk homeless guy get a free ride home?
Around $2,500 a month of taxpayer money paying for the 2 drivers.
A health alert now for those of you who do a lot of sitting at work. Think 2 hours a day. A group of researchers says you should stand for at least that long to avoid problems that come with sitting too much. The panel also recommends workplaces should eventually increase that 2 hours to 4 hours. More companies are being encouraged to provide sit-stand desks. They come up with the task where workers stand more and allow employees to take periodic walks to break up long periods of sitting. A national survey found 84% of teenagers turn to the internet for health information. Puberty, drugs, sex, and depression are all common topics, but fitness and nutrition are the most popular ones that teens look up. 1/3 say they improve their health behaviors because of what they learned online. Despite the popularity of medical apps and websites, most teens were not comfortable sharing health concerns on social media.
A consumer alert tonight. President Obama is working to curb the use of antibiotics in meat, and he's starting with the federal government. Later this year, several federal cafeterias will begin serving meat and poultry with fewer antibiotics. Previously, the Obama administration announced a plan to fight the threat from drug-resistant bacteria. Officials warn if we don't look for ways to reduce antibiotic use, we risk losing our ability to safely handle infections.
We truly risk undermining much of our ability to care and cure. We risk turning back the clock when simple infections could kill.
Retailers such as Walmart, as well as restaurant chains like McDonald's, have all committed to removing antibiotics in meat.
New at 5, old bikes are getting a second life with students in Delray Beach.
It's all part of a new partnership taking bicycles seized by police and using them for good use. News Channel 5's Charlie Keegan was at the first giveaway.
Angie Love Saint-Hilaire is still getting used to his new surroundings.
The biggest difference is, there's more opportunity in this country.
He moved to Delray Beach from Haiti with his dad 8 months ago. He walks 2 miles each way to Toussaint Louverture High School, a predominantly Haitian charter school. Now he'll ride a bike.
That was great.
The police department and biking groups partnering to turn beat-up old bikes into something students can use.
We got 13 of them, and we could only make 9 of them work at the end of the day.
Albert Richwagon fixed up the bikes. He wants to expand the program so more students can take advantage. And students say it's great to know the community cares.
I guess the people see that and they want to help the community to be better and everything. So I thank them for the vision.
In Delray Beach, Charlie Keegan, WPTV News Channel 5.
Today's your chance to weigh in on a prized piece of land in Wellington. You can attend the first of several town halls about the future of K Park on State Road 7 and Stribling Way. A small organic farming company uses the property right now, but the lease expires this month. The land is very close to the Wellington Mall, and the village is paying millions for it, so it wants to capitalize on its investment. That meeting begins tonight at 7 o'clock at Village Hall on Forest Hill Boulevard.
Now, Storm Team 5 with South Florida's most accurate weather forecast.
All right, watching some rain on the radar as we get into the evening hours, but most of it is back toward the lake and not at the coastline. So if you're headed out tonight, I think you'll be okay as far as dry weather. Showers are possible as we get into the overnight hours, and I think some morning rain on the way for Wednesday. There's a look at the latest radar, and you can see the strong storms have worked all the way back, cutting across the lake. All right, there's a look at live Viper radar, and you can see that we still have some rain pushing in across Okeechobee at this point. We also have some showers popping up on the northern side of the lake and also the southern side of the lake, and also around Fellsmere, some light showers. This was earlier storms. Palm Beach County, you have to get into Belglade and around Clewiston to get some rainfall there. Looks like a quiet night. Now, there's the system that's in the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to push across Florida the next 24 hours. So we're on the soggy side of this through about this time tomorrow night, and then we'll start to see some drier air push in. There's the wider view. This is a real soggy weather maker that last week looked like it was going to develop into something, but there's so much shear going on here that it's going to have a tough time doing it. Here is your forecast into the evening hour by hour. Temperatures will be cooling off just a little bit, but we are looking at the rain firing up once again as we get into tomorrow morning just before sunrise, and I think it's going to be a soggy morning commute. Viper forecast shows a few late-night showers on the way. Tomorrow morning, there are showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder. But as the day wears on, about this time tomorrow night, some drier air pulls in once again, and we'll start to see some clearing working in for tomorrow night. Well, you won't see this. It's the bright full moon in the sky tonight. This is the full moon for June. It's nicknamed the Strawberry Moon, and moonrise is a little after 8 o'clock tonight, but it is so cloudy out there. I don't think we're going to get a chance to see it. We're on for warmer weather, not so much tomorrow, but Thursday and into the weekend. We climb up into the high 80s and low 90s, so AC needed getting into Saturday and Sunday. Wave heights haven't been too bad. Beach and boating conditions have been better in the morning, but tomorrow, I think we're going to see a flip-flop of that. I think morning showers and, again, some rain, and then by the afternoon, a little bit brighter conditions working in. Seas 2 to 4 tomorrow. 74 tonight, cloudy and humid. As I said, if you're heading out this evening, you're okay as far as dry weather, but overnight rain on the way. Tomorrow's forecast high looking at 84, mostly cloudy, showers and storms. The best rain chances are earlier rather than later, and limited amounts of sunshine tomorrow. And the 7-day forecast has a wet weather pattern right into the weekend. There will be some sunshine, but there'll also be pretty good rain chances through the weekend and even next week, too. Looks like we're in for some soaking rains, making those lawns and gardens green. More at 5:30.
Thank you, Steve. A dramatic rescue caught on camera. How a driver is doing tonight after being rescued by this fast-acting officer.
All new at 5:30, a viral video that was not intended to become just that. See the powerful message a South Florida dad is sending other parents.
Closed captioning on WPTV is sponsored by Bethesda Health.
How much are you spending on a complete pair of no-line bifocals? $250, $400, maybe even $550? Well, how about $99? 2-pair no-line bifocals for $99 plus free eye exam. Stanton Optical. Call 1-800-STANTON for nearest location.
Tropical Storm Isaac hit in 2012. Did significant damage to my home. My insurance company denied my claim, and then Gordon and Donner came to help. You still got a mortgage payment, you still have bills to pay, you got your kids to take care of, and you need to know that your insurance companies are going to be there to help you. And when they want to run the other way, Gordon and Donner gave me peace of mind. You want someone to help you, and Gordon and Donner always was there to help me.
Gordon and Donner, for the injured.
When what's inside is important to your family, choose our family. At All My Sons Moving and Storage, we're family owned and operated with over 4 generations of packing, storing, and moving experience. At All My Sons, you get a guaranteed binded price in writing. So, whether we pack the box or you do, or if you're moving 1 mile, 1 city, or 1 state away, let our family move yours. Dial ** Move to speak with a moving specialist today. All My Sons Moving and Storage.
What got me started writing kids' books is I have a kid. For me, right now, the books that I get the most fun out of, the most satisfaction are the kids' books that I write. I love doing it, and I love turning kids on to reading. A lot of the books that I write for kids, in terms of getting them to keep turning the pages and want another book, that's the whole thing. At the end of that book, you want them to say, give me another book.
This message from Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County.
Some people go to Greece and bring back a statue. Me, I went to Greece and brought back a pizza.
The Greek pizza is back. A large for $12. And try our new garlic knots or our new cinnamon knots for just $5 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza. PapaJohns.com.
Now at Empire Today, save big on new floors with our buy one, get 2 free sale. Buy floors for 1 room and get carpet, hardwood, or laminate for 2 more rooms. Free when you pay for padding and installation. Empire makes flooring easy. We bring samples to your home, give free estimates during your appointment, and professionally install your project right. So save big with Empire's buy one, get 2 free sale. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire. Today. How much are you spending on a complete pair of no-line bifocals? $250, $400, maybe even $550? Well, how about $99? 2-pair no-line bifocals for $99 plus free eye exam. Stanton Optical. Call 1-800-STANTON for nearest location.
Covering America, a quick-acting police officer rescues a South Carolina man from a burning car car, and you can see it all on the officer's dash cam. It happened Saturday when the officer came upon the car in a parking lot. As he used a fire extinguisher to put out the flames, he noticed a man was in the driver's seat. He pulled the guy out from the car. The man, who was described as extremely intoxicated, says he doesn't even remember the car catching fire or even being inside when the vehicle started.
A college friend of Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev has been sentenced to prison. A judge sentenced him to 6 years behind bars. He's already served 2 years and will be deported after completing his sentence in 2019. He pleaded guilty for removing items from Tsarnaev's dorm room after the bombing.
A South Carolina man has been charged with animal torture for allegedly taping this dog's muzzle shut. William Leonard Dodson allegedly stole the 15-month-old dog named Caitlin and taped her mouth shut with electrical tape. That dog is improving, but she could still lose her tongue and be permanently disfigured because there was such blood loss to her tongue.
Ever tired of airplane or airport noise? They are in Phoenix. It's so bad the city there is suing the federal government. Last September, the FAA changed flight paths in the Phoenix area. Both the agency and airlines said the move would increase safety and reduce fuel costs. But people are complaining about the constant, intense noise over neighborhoods surrounding Sky Harbor Airport. The FAA said it had not seen the lawsuit and therefore cannot comment.
I'm Jay Cashmere, live in the newsroom. Coming up, all new at 5:30. A disturbing new trend is taking hold in our area tonight, and one police chief is asking victims and their families not to hide it. The dangerous and deadly threat and why it only seems to be growing. Also, if you're shopping for a used car, you need to look at more than the make, model, and mileage. The new problem that could surface and could cost you a bundle. Also, it's video that's been seen by millions all over the country. Now the South Florida man behind it all reveals why it was never meant to be shared. Those stories and more with Shannon and I. See you in just a few minutes from News Channel 5 at 5:30.
The Business Report on WPTV is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers.
The top speed of the Australian Wombat is 25 miles an hour.
I don't need a Wombat expert. I need an air conditioning expert.
Save up to $1,650 or pay no interest until 2020 on a new Trane air conditioning system.
I love those guys.
Personal injury attorneys have a bad reputation, but I'm proud that I've dedicated my career to fighting insurance companies that treat people unfairly. If the insurance company is giving you the runaround, call a lawyer you can trust.
Call me, Attorney Craig Goldenfarb.
My new summer meal's got 8 pieces of chicken, a large coleslaw, baked beans with pulled chicken, 4 biscuits, and a half-gallon of Dole Classic lemonade. You see what I'm talking about? It's still finger-licking good.
We have to have our house tented for termites.
Well, tents can be good for some things, like a circus. Or camping. But putting a tent on your home?
Come on.
Just call Hewlett. With our no tent termite service, there's no need to evacuate, no food removal, no pet boarding, and no stress. Our treatment eliminates termites guaranteed.
Whoa. Just call Hewlett.
Just call Hewlett.
Enjoy your new shield.
Thanks. How much did you spend on this?
Nothing. It was free, and they put it in just a day.
Well, if it was free and they put it in that fast, how good could it be?
You tell me.
She's got a Sloman Shield, the ultimate home security system. It's free, and yes, it's real good.
Okay, the system's great, honey. Please disarm it.
Just steps away from the water, relax and enjoy the atmosphere and amazing food. Mulligan's 12 Weeks of Summer, where kids eat free Monday through Friday, 3 to 9 p.m.
Catch your News Channel 5 updates throughout the day on News Radio WJNO.
I'm a third-generation lawyer in my family. Before my mom passed away, I promised her that I would dedicate my career to helping others. Help me make good on that promise. Call a lawyer you can trust.
Call me, Attorney Craig Goldenfarb.
The air conditioner is good to go.
Now that's my kind of expert.
I was really impressed by that Wombat thing.
Call Lindstrom today and get a 19-point air conditioning tune-up for only $89.
I
those guys.
Live, local, from WPTV, this is News Channel 5 at 5:30. Local coverage you can count on.
First at 5:30 tonight, a disturbing trend coming out of Delray Beach.
Police say they are seeing a shockingly high number of heroin-related overdoses. The chief there saying 3 people died in the month of May.
News Channel 5's Charlie Keegan joins us now with why police are asking for your help. Charlie.
The message from the police department tonight is it takes a community to solve this problem. They say heroin affects all walks of life, from the main roads to the back alleyways. And even if you've never seen heroin before, being aware of the problem can lead to solutions.
It's scary.
Police Chief Jeff Goldman remembers his days on the streets seeing overdosed addicts.
They need to, ensure the individual is safe. They also have to ensure they're safe.
Now, his officers are responding to heroin calls at an alarmingly high rate.
When you have individuals dying or overdosing from heroin, that is a concern of your police department.
The numbers from May are shocking. Officers responded to 17 heroin-related overdoses. 3 people died. Last May, there were 4 heroin overdoses. Drug experts believe more people are turning to heroin since Florida cracked down on pain pill abuse.
We've shifted the drug, right? So we haven't really totally taken care of the problem. We've simply shifted use.
Chief Goldman says detectives need help finding where the heroin comes from. He needs you to report, not hide, your loved one's addiction.
If we have to arrest them, we're going to arrest them. If we have to get them help, whatever it is, but we need to stop the bleeding in a sense.
Don't expect a cure overnight. Experts say it'll take time to make sure the addicts get treatment and the support they need to stay clean. All the while, of course, police following every lead they get, trying to find out where this heroin is coming from. Live in Delray Beach, Charlie Keegan, WPTV News Channel 5.
Now, there is currently a drug available that could save the life of a loved one overdosing from an opioid like heroin. The Now's Rachel Lado is here tonight with what's happening right now.